evening. I'm going to tell you this evening about reading music. Now, the first thing you need to do is learn the notes of the musical staff. They are going from the bottom to the top, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Probably be better if I showed you. Of course, it's only for the treble clef that it goes that way. D, E, F, G, A, B, and so on. Now, the bass clef will go in the opposite direction, of course. That's B, A, G, F, E, and so on. There is, of course, a movable clef, which is used for cellos and other such instruments, and the notes tend to move around a good deal depending on the key, but we won't worry about that this evening. Now, these notes can all change, of course, depending on what the key signature might be. For example, if we had an F sharp marked up here, then every F in this piece of music would be an F sharp, of course. And if there were flats marked, then all of those notes that were marked would be flats. Unless, of course, they're marked by accidentals of one sort or another, extra sharps or flats or naturals or double sharps or various other possibilities. Which reminds me, did any of you see the concert last evening of Debussy and Ravel, their music, that Alfred Brendel did? It was such a good concert. I think he's terrific. And, well, he's sort of a friend of the family, so I feel rather involved. But usually he plays Mozart or Beethoven, and this was the first time I'd heard him do impressionistic music. And I was reminded of it because writing all this stuff up here, you see, well, all of that impressionistic music seems to be written in 5 or 6 sharps or 5 or 6 flats with umpteen incidentals. And so I keep thinking, how in the world does he even read it? At any rate, I found it kind of complicated to learn, and I'm always challenged when I see that kind of music. Now, at any rate, there is a difference between a major and a minor scale, which you'll need to know. Let me show you. That's the first part of the C scale. That's a C major scale, and if I were to throw a flat in here, that would make it a C minor scale. Now, actually, the major and minor scales are not the only ones that we have. Some of the really modern composers use a 12-tone scale, and some cultures, primitive cultures, and not all of them primitive, use a pentatonic scale where there are only 5 notes in what we would call an octave. But for us, we'll be concentrating in this course on the regular 8-tone scale. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have as many notes to work with as the 12-tone people do, but it's a matter of definition. Now, an important part of reading music is the timing. How long does each note last? It's all very well and good to know what the pitch is, but if you don't know how long to hang on to it, obviously you're not going to know what the piece sounds like. Well, for figuring out the timing, we have quarter notes, eighths, sixteenths, divided by halves. And moving up from the quarters, we've got halves and wholes. There are also triplets, and if you really want to get fancy, you can get, for example, now that's the triplet, but let's say we did this way. There's no name for it, but the 5 have to fit in one beat. In 6/8 time, the 8th notes are automatically triplets. So when you see rest, you know that those indicate silence for the length of the note that would be represented in that rest. Well, I see my time seems to be running short. So if you have any questions, could you hold them for next time? Thank you.